where the butterfly babies will eat. What? How's that funny? Butterflies have babies, okay? Caterpillars?
So why wouldn't you just call them caterpillars,
Okay.
the butterfly babies?
Sup, audience? Are you ready for reading? Today we are doing a TOEFL video on the reading section, and we're doing a brief overview of what to expect and a couple tips for success. I hope you're excited because we'll be reading and talking about time, butterflies, and what was the other one? The piano. So get your pens ready and let's do it. To begin, let's talk about what to expect for the reading section. So how long are they? Well, it's on the computer, remember that. But if you were to print out these passages, they'd each be about a page long. You will have 3 or 4 reading passages, and you'll have 60 to 80 minutes to read and answer the questions on these passages. And then you'll have about 13 to 14 questions for each of the passages. One thing to remember about the TOEFL, it's all about time. Therefore, as you are working on each set of questions for each reading, then you have to think about how much time you spend per question. So, tip. If you're answering questions and one question is too hard, it's taking you a long time, maybe more than 1 or 2 minutes, then you need to move on. You can go back later if you want to check that question again, but it's really important to get all the easy points first. The majority of the questions are worth the same amount of points, so you want to collect as many as you can. So this means that skipping around is okay. Your goal should be to answer as many questions correctly as you can. But of course, you don't want to leave any question blank. So, at the end of the section, go back and look at those difficult questions. And since you're probably low on time at that point, guess on them, because you might have missed them anyways. Now, let's go to our next tip, which involves a question type that they commonly ask on the reading section of the TOEFL. So the TOEFL is a really old test. It's been used since like the 1960s. But luckily, they have been using the same types of questions on this test forever. And the reading section is no different. Here is a question type that you need to be familiar with for this section. I like to call this type of question questions with negatives. They often have words like except or not in them. For example, all of the following explain X except, or it is not stated in the passage that. Here's a strategy for tackling these questions. Every one of these questions has 4 possible answers. Basically, this question is asking you to identify which answer doesn't belong, which answer isn't like the rest. And the one that doesn't belong is your answer. Let's look at an example. I'm going to post a slide. Take a minute, pause the video, and read the slide so that we can talk about it. And it's about the piano. Now that you've read the passage, let's look at the question. According to the passage, each of these composers wrote for the piano except A. Mozart, B. Beethoven, C. Brahms, or D. Carter. This is where we can use our strategy. Ask yourself which composers did write for the piano. The one who didn't is your answer. The negative word confuses people, so again, reword the question. Did Mozart write for the piano? You find that keyword Mozart in the passage and the sentences around it. Did he not? Oh, he did. Check. Okay, that's not the answer. Then go to B, Beethoven. Okay, did he write for the piano? Go find his name. Look around. Did he or did he not? Oh, he did. Check. It's not Beethoven. And keep doing that. When you get to Carter, you say, oh, I see Carter's name, but did he write for the piano? No, he didn't. So, that's your answer. The one that's not like the rest. And another way to think about approaching this question is rewording it. Okay, because the negative word, that's confusing. But if we turn this question into who did write for the piano, it becomes a lot easier. And then you can use simple process of elimination. So now let's move on to our next little passage and a question type and tip. I like to call this next question type, where does the sentence go? You will have a paragraph. And in this paragraph, there will be 4 locations or 4 boxes. And then you will be given a sentence taken out of the paragraph, and you have to put it back into one of those boxes. It's like a puzzle. Where does the sentence go best? This passage is about butterflies, papillon, mariposa, Schmetterling. Here's the slide. Pause the video, read it, and then we'll talk about it. Alright, pretty easy. So now let's look at the sentence that they could give you. If the 4th generation of monarchs behaved as the first 3, their newborn offspring would have nothing to eat upon hatching. Where does this sentence go? To A, to B, to C, or to D? This is a good example because here we can make a connection between the content of the sentence they give you and the content of the paragraph. But what is our connection? In the sentence they give you, they're talking about eating. So where in the paragraph can we make the connection to eating? The milkweed plant. Even if you don't know what milkweed means, you do know what plant means. So there is the connection of food, right? Plants. Caterpillars eat plants. Okay, that's it. So we need to insert the sentence around this area talking about plants. The answer? To B. Sometimes it's not as simple. The content is not as clear. So you have to rely on specific words, keywords, even grammar. Here's the tip. Look for reference words and pay attention to them closely. These words include demonstrative adjectives. This, that, those, these. Pronouns. It, her, them. These will help you find that link back to the passage. Here are just a few examples like this. Chopin composed exclusively for this instrument. This is very important. What is this? And that is how you find your link. Another example. They enjoyed the taste of the sugary treat instead of criticizing it for its lack of health benefits. Well, we've got a couple of references here. The first word is they. Who's they? That can help you find the subject. That can help you find the link to the paragraph. Finally, we have this sentence. This is usually avoided by surrounding the prey before going in for the kill. What is this? Again, find that answer and you'll find your link. So there are a lot of different question types for the reading section, but we'll talk about those in another video. Let's review what we talked about today. First, time. The reading section is all about time and you want to use it strategically. So skip those difficult questions, get all those easy points first. Then go back and try the hard ones in your extra time. Second, take those really confusing negative word questions and reword them. It'll make process of elimination a lot easier for these types. And third, when you are inserting the sentences, find that connection, right? Sometimes it's easier, but if it's not super clear, then pay attention to reference words like this, those, that, or pronouns, them, it, her. And that's it! We are finished for today. So, what did you learn? Tell me in the comment boxes, okay? And if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time. I'm Teacher Mike. Have a lovely day.